Hey guys, Blake and Levi here today with Lilley's Landing Resort and Marina on beautiful upper Lake Taneycomo. It is some day of the week. It's Thursday, February the 25th. And we're going to do the one cast today. Okay, so a little cooler today. Setting in maybe we might have got it to a high of 50 today. Slight, I'd say 5 to 10 mile an hour wind here on the water today. Overcast skies. They were running a half unit for most of the day. We just heard the horn blow up at the dam about 10 to 15 minutes ago. And it looks like the water is just now starting to get a little faster down here. So today I'm going to be starting off with a 16th ounce sculpin feathered peanut butter head. We do carry these up there in the shop with just the 16th ounce size on this color. 2 pound test. Levi's throwing something. Levi's throwing the exact same thing. Alright. It's peanut butter and sculpin or nothing today, apparently. We're sitting dead center of the lake right here. We're about 100 yards below Andy's Flat, kind of coming up towards the tennis courts. The wind was really bad up by the dam, so we decided that we weren't going to do one cast until we got down here on this bend where the wind isn't so strong. Also, once I heard that siren go off for the water to increase, I know that just about any time they kick the water on, the first 10 to 15 minutes, once the water starts to reach a spot like where we're at now, it adds a little bit of oxygen to the water, and the fish tend to get a little more active for that little window of time while the water's increasing. And so I figured we'd try to take advantage of that moment. Waited till about 12 minutes after we heard the sirens go off to start fishing here. Nothing officially on the first cast. Whew. But other than being a little cooler, still a beautiful day to be out on the water fishing. Let's see. Fishing reports for today. We talked to some guys as we were driving up the lake. They were kind of right there in front of Trout Hollow Lodge, drifting on the water. And they said that they had been trying power bait for most of the day with no success. And they switched over to night crawlers and immediately caught 3 or 4 in a row. So sounds like maybe a good day for night crawlers. Oh, did you have one?
Lost him.
Dang it. Darren, who works up in the shop, up in the fly shop, he was out fishing with his dad this afternoon. They said that they had caught 35 or 40 fish on the pink power worm, kind of fishing from Fall Creek to Short Creek. So it sounds like they were having a pretty successful day. We talked to some guys that were wade fishing kind of right across on the north bank, right across from the trophy run sign. And they said that they had been doing good. I can't remember what he said he was. When we talked to him, when we pulled up on him, they were fishing midges. But he said that they had been catching them on scuds and San Juan worms as well. There's kind of right across from the trophy run sign, when the water's low enough, you can take the staircase below the boat ramp and walk along the bank and get down to across from that trophy run sign. There's a fish. And there's a big kind of dead pocket of water that you can stand in and fish. Then there's even a deep pool out in front of it, and it's a great spot if you can get there. Ooh, that's a healthy one. Big fat belly. And I decided to stay a little more out in the middle today and fish kind of the deeper water instead of getting up on that flat. Kind of give that jig just a little bit extra time to sink down and hit the bottom. We've been fishing for, I don't know, probably an hour and a half today before we started the video. We were up at started at the cable, and honestly, it's been kind of a slow day. I think we only caught 2 fish drifting from the cable all the way down to Trophy Run. But we have noticed that any of our bites definitely came when the jig was very close to the bottom. And the same with that fish that I just caught. I was really letting it sink down and touch the bottom before I jig it. I think we just stocked these 16th ounce peanut butter head sculpin jigs just the other day, and I didn't even know they had been stocked. I went to the drawer, saw them in there, and I was like, ooh, I gotta try those. So this is my first one cast trying them. Let's see. I think that was all the fishing reports I had. I've been keeping up with these somewhere near half unit flows. I'm not sure what they just increased it to. It doesn't update it on the app yet. Doesn't really seem to be running all that much faster. Seen a lot of midging happening in various spots along the lake today. I've even got a fly rod rigged up in case I see a big group midging as we float down through here. I'll tell you what, this part of the lake right here is nice. There's just barely any wind. The problem about a 10-mile-an-hour wind when they're running a half unit is if it's blowing upstream, it's practically stopping your boat the whole time. And we were trying to run some trout beads and scuds on the fly rods when we were up by the dam, and it was just, wind was just completely stopping our momentum. Might switch positions, put the boat in the shallow side and cast out here towards the deep. See if that makes a difference. I kind of expected to see some fish midging here along the front side of the golf course, but I'm not seeing anything on top of the water over there except for some ducks. Yeah, I'm gonna go. We're gonna switch positions here. Definitely a lot of midges up in the air, flying all around my head. Oh, there was one. Right now the water's... Oh, there he was again. He came back for it twice. Right now the water's still not running very fast, even though they've increased the flow. And the wind's blowing a little bit. So what I'm doing to keep my 16th ounce jig from sinking too fast is I'm letting it initially sink, get it close to the bottom, and then there's all that excess line that I would usually jig with and leave there if the water was running faster. But once I know it's near the bottom, I'm reeling in a little bit of my slack, putting a little more tension on the line so it sinks slower, and then I'm keeping the line near the water, if not laying on top of the water, so that the wind can't blow it. So I'm just trying to manipulate, there's one, manipulate how fast that jig sinks. And I know we've talked about it before, but sometimes it's just a matter if the fish is going to bite it or not of how fast it's sinking. I'll tell you something I found a little surprising earlier as we were drifting from the cable down, is I just didn't see as many fish as I normally see, even just cruising along the bottom up there. It's a little strange. Oh, Levi's hooked up now. I think maybe the water's finally reaching them down here. What you got over there? That's really making some drag sounds. You got a big one? Well, you just let me know if we need to chase him. What you got? Let me get my line out of the way. No?
Feels big on 2-pound test.
I don't know. I think he's all right size. He ain't no little guy.
Nothing else moss. No, he ain't big.
He's nice.
Definitely got some moss on it.
Yeah, I've noticed quite a bit of that moss in the lake too. There was quite a bit on the bottom up by the dam. I don't see nearly as much moss down here. But that's something, that's a change that you can make, is take some of the slack out of your line, make that jig sink a little slower. You're gonna have to be more patient with it, but it can pay off, and it can be the right way to do it sometimes. Man, that's a pretty one. Bright pink stripe.
Good looking fish.
Yeah, I think just about where our boat was drifting earlier is where we're catching these fish right now. So there he is. Moving over here to the outside edge and fishing towards the deep was the way to go instead of fishing towards the shallow. I think I got a decent one on here.
I'll feel pretty decent with 2-pound test on.
You know, look at him flashing.
Ooh, that's a good looking one.
Fatty. He was definitely hooked. All right. Well, they are liking the sculpin with the peanut butter head. That's another thing though. If you're ever out here on the water and you hear that horn go off, get ready. Because that first 15 to 20 minutes of the water coming up can really get the fish excited and moving around. Not only does it add oxygen into the water a little bit, I imagine, but it also picks up some of the food sources that are been setting on the bank or, you know, lodged somewhere, and kind of gets them moving around again, and so they get to seeing that food coming downstream. Man, I like this stretch of the lake. It was way too windy up by the dam.
I told you earlier, go below the golf course.
Oh, you got him? You got the bottom.
Bottom.
Oh, let it sink just a little too long. So what's cool about this area we're fishing is behind us is a big flat, and this flat comes across here, and then it starts to gradually drop off into the channel over there. And if you can find that spot where it starts to drop off and fish it, there's usually some fish there. You need another jig?
No, I got some. I got another one tied up.
I got some in my pocket. Pocket jigs.
Pocket jigs are the best ones.
I know. Always got to keep a lucky pocket jig.
I'm going to switch to, I believe, white and olive.
Oh, Levi says he's going to take a change and go with white and olive. 16th ounce?
Yes, sir.
16th ounce. Ooh, did you see that? There was a big fish that just rolled right there. I'm going to try to get him.
Water's a little clearer down here as well.
Yeah, there's a few different things going on down here. There's not nearly as much moss on the bottom, which
Snow melt, maybe?
which could make a difference as to why there might be a few more fish down here than there was up there. I think a lot of the spots that we've caught fishing today were all deeper spots too. I don't think we really picked one out of a shallow area. All been in the deeper holes. Did you miss him? I'd say another good area to be fishing today would have been down there by Short Creek. That's where those guys were catching them on the night crawlers, and that's where Darren said he was doing really well. I believe he was using the pink power worm under a float. Almost fell over. Wind keeps just ever so slowly pushing us over too far out. Look, there's some rolling right here. I think I got time for a couple more casts. Oh, there he was. Oh. When that line's laying across the water, you can really see when they take off with it. Oh, yay! I got him to stay on there. He hit it and ran straight towards me. Oh, he came off. Dirty little dog. Alright, I can't end it there. And reeling that slack a little tighter today seems to really be making the difference. Oh, there he is again. Nice. Alright, well I can't end it on 2 in a row. Gotta go for 3. Well, this is what I can say. If you're going to be coming out here in the next couple of days, I think I'd be fishing this stretch a little more than I would be up by the dam. I'm looking out here with my glasses on and I'm seeing a lot more fish rolling over, feeding. A lot less moss on the bottom. And then my other good reports are kind of over there by Short Creek, and then down by the landing I've heard there's been a bunch of fish. I think they just stocked within the last week. But looks like I'm not going to get my 3rd in a row there. So we thank you guys for watching today. Like and share us on Facebook. And we'll get out here and do it again for you tomorrow. Thanks, guys. I think we get a look at them all feeding down there. I bet there's a lot of scuds coming through. The water could be kicked up. All right, thanks, guys.